time is just gone 8:48 a.m. and we learned about the death of Eliyahu David Kay, who emigrated from Johannesburg to Israel, and he gained Israeli citizenship. He joined the Israeli army, and as a result of his death, it has created huge discussion in South Africa, particularly looking at the South African Jewish Board of Deputies and the SA Zionist Federation, who have been obviously active in recruiting, facilitating, encouraging, supporting, and celebrating South African citizens participating in the Israeli army. But now that he has been killed, there seems to be a lot of lobbying taking place as far as the government is concerned. And as a result, the Media Review Network and Africa for Palestine have written to Minister Ronald Lamola requesting a meeting to discuss how to curb the problems of South Africans participating in foreign wars and military activities. And we joined on the line by Dr. Ahmed Jazbhay, who is an executive member of the MRN. Dr. Ahmed Jazbhay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome.
Wa alaikum salam. Thanks for having me.
Yes, wonderful you're able to join us. Just take us through this joint media statement by the MRN and Africa for Palestine.
Yes, you would recall it over the last few days that a Zionist South African who was serving in the Israeli army, who served in the Israeli army, was killed in occupied Al-Quds, just in the old city of Jerusalem. And it came to before that he was serving in the Israeli army, or had served in the Israeli army as a paratrooper. And this brought to the fore that this issue of many South African citizens who serve in foreign armies, and particular the Israeli terrorist forces. We've seen over a number of years that there are hundreds of South Africans that serve in the Israeli terrorist forces and are not prosecuted. This is against the Foreign Mercenary Act of South Africa, which is why the Africa for Palestine, as well as the Minister requested a joint meeting with the Minister of Justice, Mr. Ronald Lamola, to discuss this issue as to why there appears to be no political will on the part of the South African government to prosecute those South Africans who serve in the Israeli army. And there are many of them. There are hundreds of them literally that serve in the Israeli army. Not all of them are known. Some of them we have found out by social media posting. So we would like the South African government to get serious about this issue. If it was a number of Muslims who go to Syria or go to Iraq or Iran, Afghanistan, the South African government would have acted fast, and the Zionist Federation, through the local cheerleaders, fearmongers, and other lobbyists, would be lobbying South African government to prosecute these individuals, to malign these individuals, to take away their civil liberties and so on. But now we see some doublespeak when it comes to Israelis or South Africans who serve in the Israeli army.
Yes, and I think I'm quite glad that you brought up the issue about a few years ago, where we've seen ISIS come under the spotlight, and we've seen South Africans coming under the spotlight for having joined organizations like ISIS. But what we are seeing here in South Africa again is organizations like the SA Jewish Board of Deputies, the SA Zionist Federation, and these people are doing it openly. And in terms of the statement or the media release, they are active in recruiting, facilitating, encouraging, supporting, and even to the extent of celebrating South African citizens participating in the IDF.
Yes, we see this on a daily basis. If you go to the majority Zionist schools, like King David School and so on, Minfield, in Joburg and so on, you will see that the SAJ board, the Zionist Federation, and other organizations, as well as those who have served in the IDF, have are proudly championed as defenders of the state of Israel and so on. And they go to these schools and they actively try to encourage South Africans to go and do a few years in the terrorist forces of the Zionist entity. And so we reach a point where we've got to look We've got to ensure that we take this quite seriously, and which is why the Minister of Justice needs to account for this. While it maybe have been done under his predecessors, he's fairly new, and he needs to ensure that he treats this with the seriousness it deserves. We've yet to receive a confirmation of receipt from the minister, but we're confident that we'll receive it over the next few days, and look forward to those discussions with him, so that we could, we can ensure that no more South Africans go and serve not only in the Israeli army but in other foreign mercenaries. But in this case, we are focusing on Israel because, as you rightly pointed out, they are celebrated. They're celebrated as some sort of heroes and so on, whilst in fact they are in fact mercenaries. They are terrorists who spend their time in the terrorist forces terrorizing indigenous Palestinians. I mean, Eli Kay was a South African, but he got Israeli citizenship, which is something that is not afforded to 6 million Palestinians in the diaspora, who are not afforded the right of return to Palestine. Yet this guy, who has no roots to Palestine, apart from his faith, and that too is quite debatable. But we see, I mean, one just needs to take a walk through Tel Aviv on a Saturday morning to see how religious the majority of Israelis are. They're not really religious. It's merely a practical step for many Zionists. So, which is why we want to ensure that we want to take some action against it.
Dr. Ahmed Jazbhay, Jazakallah khairan for that update, and obviously we will watch the space, and we're also looking forward to the response to the submission that you have made to the minister. But for now, we thank you. We say Jazakallah for your time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Shukran alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.